Lorraine, this one is so simple.
Is
Right,
it?
really simple. We're going to cook it in real time.
Even I could do it?
Even for yourself,
Thank you.
madam, yes. Right, OK. First things first, get that pan hot. So I'm just going to crank up the heat ever so slightly. Now, I have pre-warmed it all. OK, right, now, touch of oil goes in there, and I'm just going to get this pork in, and I'll explain more about the pork in a moment. I've pre-cut everything up, OK? Really fine, thin strips, and in that goes that hot oil. Think of this as a stir-fry.
Oh, right, OK.
It's a bit of a fusion kind of thing, really. So in that pork goes there. We just want to get it so we get this basically so it just goes opaque with the colour. Now, pork fillet, as I said before, fantastic on price, goes a long way as well. We've removed the sinew off it, which is the little silver skin. If you didn't, it would all turn up and go tough on you.
You missed a bit, you've still got one in there.
There's one for you, all right? We won't miss it. OK, now, as you can see, it's almost there on colour, just to get rid of that pinkness. And we're just going to keep moving around in a hot pan. Minimal amount of oil, OK? We're going to use the pan. It's great because it's like all one-pan cooking as well,
Fantastic,
which is fantastic.
that's what we like.
So just wash my hand off quickly, and then I've got myself a spoon here, and we're just going to give it all a good mix up. Now, it doesn't have to be perfectly sealed, but it's more or less there, yeah? You can see the colour's gone opaque. It's taken on a little touch of brownness. Next, got myself a clean plate. I'm going to take off some of the pork, because what you want to do is you don't want to overcook it so it goes really rubbery.
Right,
OK, now, addition of tiny bit more oil, only a bit.
Right.
OK, and then the good base, onions, yeah, you use them in curries as a base, that kind of thing, anything good as a sauce base, basically. In go a few onions, give it all a good mix up again, and again, you don't need to brown them, you just want to cook them so they take on that heat.
Right.
Give it a good shake around. Now, paprika, good base for any kind of a stroganoff, yeah? You can have smoked, sweet. I like the smoked stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's lovely.
I do, it's lovely.
We're just going to add a bit more flavour to it first. A little knob of butter goes in there.
See, I think butter's fine. You know, just a little bit, it's all right.
Minimal,
yeah,
that'll add flavour to
absolutely.
it. If I'd have put the butter in when I did the pork at the beginning, it would have burnt because it's too hot. All right, so that, now the pan's cooled a bit. As you can see, we're not getting wrong on any different colour. Paprika. You want about a teaspoonful, so in that goes. And you want to cook it out. You don't want to taste anything raw.
Right.
OK, so that's why the pan, see how it's starting to go dry? This is what we want, OK? Mushrooms as well. Chestnut mushrooms on this instance.
Okay.
They're on offer, about £1 at the moment in the supermarket,
oh, that's
which is fantastic. I'm just going to put enough in here, and you really want it so it gets this wonderful colour. That's what you associate it with it. Normally it's beef, you'd cook it down for a good couple of hours so it all goes tender. This one's completely the opposite. Little shake around. The oil's been soaked up by the mushrooms, which is what we want, and there's not too much in there. The pork goes back in.
Lovely.
Get rid of these bits there. Give it all a good mix up, and again, we're still cooking it out, OK?
It's very fast as well.
Very
really good.
right. Now, touch of salt. Tiny bit of pepper.
It's better to do that at that stage.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's so hot you don't want to burn the pepper. You know, and the
yes,
saltiness, you want to taste the paprika as well. That's what it's all about. So give it a good shake around, and now onto the end finishing bit, really. We're using sour cream.
Right.
You could use cream. Traditionally, it's sour cream, OK? Down on the heat ever so slightly.
See, I'd be so worried about this bit.
But you watch that the colour will start to change and it will start to bubble up and simmer. Tiny bit more in there, start to come together. Let it just slowly now start to simmer and tick through. Now the pork, believe it or not, is cooked. It's at about 2 to 3 minutes.
That's
It is fine, but I will lower the heat. Now, normally you'd serve this dish with rice if you're in Hungary, that kind of thing. I like this angle with tagliatelle. It cooks in 3 minutes. It's straight out the pack.
Yeah.
I've pre-cooked some off, and you're just going to add it to the sauce. I don't want to overcook things at all, so we can add that a little bit later.
OK.
I'm going to finish it, a bit of acidity. Tiny bit of lemon juice goes in there as well. And then also herbs. You could use chives, you could use basil, you know. It is a lighter dish, so it's in that in-between, and like I said before, not too heavy, not too light.
Sure.
Give it a little stir. Bit of flat leaf parsley, chopped up, earthy taste.
Lovely.
That goes in there. I'm going to add the tagliatelle towards the end. Touch more lemon juice. Correct the seasoning. Lorraine,
Brilliant.
it's a meal in minutes.